Hello, this is Mr. Perez, and today we are working with whole numbers, numbers up to 10 million. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to read and write numbers in numerals and in words up to 10 million, and round off numbers to the nearest thousand. Here's a quick place value chart review. As we look at the place value chart, we remember that here's our decimal point, and just to the left of that, ones, tens, and hundreds. And then we have thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s. And then we have millions, 10 millions, and 100 millions. Starting from the decimal point, which in today's whole numbers is going to be invisible for us, I want you to remember that every 3 place value spots we throw in a comma. It helps separate the thousands from the hundreds and the millions from the thousands. We don't count from the left side because then we could end up with a comma in strange places over here, and really the goal is to remember that that comma always comes between hundreds and the thousands place, and it always comes between the 100,000 and the millions place. Here we're going to try some examples. I'm going to piece together these two numbers after reading them, and then I'm going to have you do these examples on your own. The first example says 4,130,120. I'm going to figure out how to build this number from the word form in standard form down here. I'm going to start with the first bit, 4 million. I look in the millions place and realize I need to put a 4 in there. 4,130,000. So I'm going to put a 130 in the thousands place. 4,130,000. And the last bit says 120. So I'm going to put 120 at the very end. As I go down this number from left to right, it says 4,130,120. I'm going to click on this box to show the answer, and it matches. 4, 130, 120. Our answers match. I'm going to reset the board, and we're going to move on to our second example, 9,621. I don't have to deal with the millions, or the 100,000s, or even the 10,000s. This is only 9,000. 6 goes in the hundreds place, 621. And I know how to make a 21. Since I only have thousands and hundreds, I only need one comma. If I was counting from the left-hand side to put my comma in, it would come over here, and that number would not look correct. As long as I remember that my decimal point is invisible, but I'm counting up from there, 1, 2, 3 spots, my comma is going to be right in front of that third spot. And so my answer should be 9,621, and that reads 9,621. Again, I'm going to reset, and this time I want you to look at this blue example here. It says 50,204,912. I'd like you to take a look at what the place value chart says down here and try to piece the number together on your own. Use a piece of scratch paper, pause the video, and then when you restart it, we'll check the answer. Go ahead, pause it, and try and figure out now. Okay, so we've got 50 million. 5 goes into the 10 millions, and that means 50 million. I don't have anything in the plain million spot. 50,204,000. 200,000 It doesn't have any 10,000s, so I'm going to put a 0 there. 204,000, and the last bit says 912. 912. So it should say 50, comma, 204, comma, 912. Let's see. 50,200 or 50,204,912. I'm going to reset the board again, and this time I want you to try this one. Go ahead, pause it, write down the answer, and then come back. Here we have 21 million, 600,000. So I know I have 600,000, and there's no 10,000s, and there's no plain thousands. 52. I know I've got to put the 52 in there, and I don't have any hundreds, so I'm going to put a 0 as a placeholder in there. So if I read this, I've got 21,600,052. And our answer is 21, 600, 052. Here we have 364,809 and 562. Go ahead and do these two last examples on your own, pause it, and we'll check our answers right now. Okay, 364,000. Well, I know I've got 364,000. 809. 800. I have no 10s, and I have 9 ones. Your answer should be 364, 809. And on our last example, 562, there's no millions or thousands, it's just 562. Since there's only 3 place values altogether, I do not need to put in the comma. Here's 3 more examples. I'd like you to do all 3 of these on your own. Just as a sample, I put in 1, 2, 3 places in the 100,000s. In the thousands, showing 100,000, 10,000, regular thousand, and hundreds, tens, and ones. Notice that for these numbers, you may not use all 6 place value slots. So be very careful where you start your number and make sure you put the numbers in the right spaces. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, finish the problems on your own, and then we'll come back and check our answers. Alright, the first one says 22,553. It should say 22,000, 553. The next example says 356,922. 356,000, 922. The last example is 7,408. Here we're going the opposite direction. I'm giving you numbers in numerals already, and I want you to figure out the word form. It takes a lot of writing, but it is worth it. We've got 46 in the thousands place, and 832 in the other place value spots. We write it out just the way we read the number. So our word form comes out to be exactly this: 46,000, 832. 832. So for this example, we would start with looking in the thousands place and saying, okay, in the middle here I've got 61. So this is going to be 61,000. Down here I don't have any hundreds, and I only have 5 tens, which means 50 to me. And I don't have any ones. So it should be 61,050. 61,000, this part, 50. Here, once again, I look at my place value spots, and I've got 807,000. 2. 807,000. 2. It's very short in word form because I don't have any tens or hundreds or 10,000s to worry about. Our last example shows me 100,000, and I've got 8 10,000s, and I've got 9,000. So this would read 189,000. I don't have any hundreds. I have 4 tens, which is 40, and 2 ones. 189,042. Here are 4 more examples that I would like you to do on your own. I want you to notice that we not only have ones, tens, and hundreds, and thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s, but here we have a number in the millions, as well as here. And down here I have a number in the 10 millions. And the bottom example shows a number in the 100 millions category. Go ahead and pause the video and try to do these on your own. When you unpause it, we'll check our answers together. And we're back. Our first example should say 9,534,020. Our second example should say 8,304,128. Our next example should say 24,037,004. Notice on this one I don't have anything in the 100,000s, so I don't say any 100,000s. As well as here I don't have a hundreds place or a tens place, it's only 4. Our last example should be 732,892,740. Here's some independent practice. I've given you 10 numbers in regular standard form, and I would like you to write these in word form. And down here, I've done the opposite. I've given you 10 numbers in word form. I'd like you to read it and write down the standard form. Go ahead, pause the video here, and do these 10 word form exercises and 10 standard form exercises on your own. And we're back. Now we're going to look at rounding. Here's just a quick review on how to round numbers. Step 1, find the target number in the place value you need to round to. Step 2, look to the next door smaller place value, just directly to the right. And step 3, check if that number in the smaller place value is less than 5 or equal to or greater than 5. If it is less than 5, you round down. Your target number stays the same, and all the numbers to the right become zeros. If it is equal to or greater than 5, you round up. Your target number increases by 1 and all numbers to the right become zeros. Let's try it. Here's our example. Round 523 to the nearest hundred. Now step 1 is to find the target number in the place value you need to round to. Since we're rounding to the nearest hundred, our target number is that 5 in the hundreds place. Step 2, look to the next smaller place value directly to the right. Our target's the 500, so the next smaller place value is the 2 in the tens place. Now check to see if the number in that smaller place value is less than 5 or equal to or greater than 5. The 2 in the tens place is smaller than 5, so that means we have to round down. If it is less than 5, round down. The target number stays the same, and all numbers to the right become zeros. So, since our target number is the 5 in the hundreds place, it stays the same. All the numbers to the right of the hundreds place are turned into zeros, so our answer becomes just 500. Here we're going to do some examples together. I've set up a number line, and in between the number line I've shown the 5 marker, and we'll check to see if our number is bigger or smaller than 5, and whether we need to round up or down. So first, when we have Wilbur, we're going to look at number 18. So I'm going to drag the slider up past 10, past 15, 16, 17 to 18 right there. It doesn't have to be exact. I just know that 18 is less than 20 but bigger than 15. Now, if it's bigger than 15, I have to round up to 20. 26. Well, I know it's bigger than 20. 25, 26, it's bigger than 26, but it's less than 30. Since it's over the 5, we round up to 30. Our next one is 75. It's right on the 5, and our test says to check to see if it is greater or equal to 5. Since it's equal to 5, it counts, and we round up to 80. Our last example is 53. I'm going to drag the slider to 50 and scoot up just a little bit, not quite to 55. And then I can see that I round this down to 50. Here we're going to try Bluey. We're rounding to the nearest 100. 205. Well, I knew 205 is just barely bigger than 200 and much less than 250. So Bluey says you round down to 200. 480. Well, I know it's bigger than 450, so I'm going to put it somewhere between 450 and 500. And since it's larger than 450, I'm going to be rounding up to 500. So my answer for 480 would be 500. 120. Let's put this, it's a little less than 150, but it's bigger than 100. If it's less than 150, then we have to round it down to 100. Here our next number is 89. That's less than 100, but larger than 50, so we'll put him here. Since it's larger than 50, we're rounding up to 100. Next we have Spike. He's also going to round to the nearest 100. I'm going to move Spike to just around 349. I know it's not quite 350, it's just under that, which means I'm going to round down to 300. 620. I'm going to drag Spike up to where 620 is. I know it's less than 650, so I'll put it somewhere in the middle. and I know it's less than 650, so I'm going to drop down to 600. Next we have 405. Again, barely larger than 400. So I know that this rounds down to 400 even. And our last example is 280. I know it's bigger than 250, which means I'm going to round it up to 300. Once again, I'm going to be looking at the nearest 1,000. So my target number will always be in the thousands place, but I'll be looking in the hundreds to tell me whether to round up or down. Our first example is 8,233. So I'm going to drag the robot up to 8,000. And it's less than 8,500, so I'm going to put it in the middle. If it's less than 8,500, it rounds down to 8,000. For 923, I'm going to drag it to less than 1,000, but over 500. That means I'm going to round up to 1,000. Our next example is 3,278. I'm going to drag the robot over to 3,000, and I know it's not up to 3,500. It's going to be less than that, so I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. Since it's less than 3,500, I know I round down to 3,000 even. And our last example is 4,756. If I drag our slider to 4,500, I know 4,700 is a little bit bigger than that, which means I have to round up to 5,000. Here is some more independent practice. I've given you 7 different numbers, and I'd like you to round each one to the nearest 10. So for the first ones, I want you to look at the tens place, that's our target number, and we have to look directly to the right-hand side to see whether or not we round up or down. For example, this one, I've got a 5 as my target, and I have a 6 just to the right of it telling me that it's greater than 5, so I have to round this number up. Go ahead and do these on your own. Good job. We're going to check our answers at the end of this by looking at some extra files in the comment section. Today, you have practiced and can now read and write numbers in numerals and words up to 10 million. And you can round off numbers to the nearest 1,000. This has been Working with Numbers with Mr. Perez. See you next time.